Recording in progress.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Friday Lunch and Learn sponsored by the Do Space. My name is Julie, and I'll be your facilitator this afternoon. We're going to be talking about Windows 11. If you have any questions during the seminar or during the webinar, excuse me, feel free to put them in the chat. I do have that open over here on another window. So I will be checking it on a regular basis. As well, after you can email me at jdospace@gmail.com. So what about Windows 11? We have quite an aggressive number of things that we want to look at today. These are just some key points. Looking at, is your PC eligible for Windows 11? How do I do that? How do I back up before I do that? Looking at the taskbar, the new start, taskbar settings, looking at the desktop, some software updates, the snipping tool, which is a really cool tool, restoring the windows up and down, personalization. The one thing that I really like about Windows 11 is the keyboard shortcuts. There's some of these keyboard shortcuts. Had I had Windows 11 a long time ago, it would have started saving me so much time. And I typically say, and you probably may have heard me say this, that if I have to hit 3 keys for a keyboard shortcut, to me, it's not a keyboard shortcut. However, I'm going to give you an exception in Windows 11 because there are just some amazing shortcuts that you can utilize. And we'll go through each one of these one by one so that I can demonstrate them for you. So how do I know if my version of Windows 11 is, or my PC is eligible for Windows 11? You're going to go to settings and to update and security to Windows, and you're going to do an update and click check for updates. And if you do have Windows 11, it will, if available, you'll see the feature update to Windows 11, and then you can download and install it. I will say that obviously I have downloaded it and installed it. I did back up my PC prior to. I really didn't need to do that, but that's just the precaution in me. So I would always advise people to have some sort of a backup system, not only when installing Windows 11, but on a day-to-day basis, just because your data is so valuable to you. That you certainly do not want to lose it. And there's several different ways to back up, and we'll talk about a few of those here as we get into where's the settings, where's the update and security, how do I get to the Windows update? I'll walk you through all that, folks. And then we're going to talk about backing up your data. While I'm right here, there's some different options that you have if you're not backing up your data. You have the Google Drive, so you would need a Gmail account in order to be able to utilize the backup system on that. You can also have the OneDrive, which is available to Microsoft 365 users, and you have the good old flash drive. Some people say that those are old-fashioned, but to be quite honest, sometimes it's pretty handy. So I use all 3. I use the OneDrive, I use the Google Drive, and I have some certain things on flash drives that I just transfer from one PC to another. So it's 100% up to you. There are other options. You have things like Dropbox. You have external hard drives that you may want to look into. It's up to you, but I'm just advising you that if you're going to update to Windows 11, that you certainly would back up your system first. And I would also encourage you to be backing up on a regular basis. Keep it in my eye there. All right. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to hit the escape key, and I'm going to take you back to my desktop. So on my desktop, I'm just making sure that you can see that right now. Yes, you can see it. So on my desktop, what you're looking at, I have a personalized background. of Bailey and Blue. I have a couple of different folders out here and a couple of shortcuts on my desktop on this particular monitor. But I want to focus your attention down to the bottom where I'm kind of waving my mouse around. This is your taskbar. So on the taskbar in Windows 10, you're probably used to the taskbar being over on the left-hand side. No worries, you can move it back there. I don't see what the big difference is between it being in the middle or on the left. I don't mind it being in the middle, so I just leave it there. But just in case it's bothering you, I'll show you how to move that back here in just a little bit. The first thing I want to look at is the start menu. So when I go to the start menu, I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. You can see that I have some recommended items here. And I don't really know why they call these recommended. These are really recent documents that I have had open. Up above, these are software. This is software that I have pinned that to my startup. If I come over here and I click, these are all the applications that I have on my PC. So they are listed in, yes, you guessed it, they are listed in alphabetical order. So if I scroll down, you're going to see everything that starts with a D and an E and an F and so on. Now, let's say that you're looking for Microsoft Word. Do you really want to scroll all the way down? Of course not. Let's do this. Just come over here and click on the A. When I click on the A, what it's going to do is it's going to give me the alphabet. We also have the pound sign and we have the globe down here. The items that are in boldface or lit up more or less are letters that I have an application that starts with these letters. So if I want to get to the W's really quick, I can just come down here and click on the W, and it takes me to Weather, WebEx, Windows Backup, Windows Security, Windows Tools, and Microsoft Word. So there's Microsoft Word right there. So some different things that you can do. The first thing that I would recommend everyone to do once you have upgraded to Windows 11 is to personalize your PC. To be honest with you, the only time that I go to the start button is when I teach webinars like this or when I'm doing demonstrations such as this one. I don't ever go get software from my app. So look down at my taskbar, and I have Excel, I have Word, I have PowerPoint, I have Chrome, and I have Zoom now in my file Explorer. The ones with the little underlines underneath them, those are ones that I have applications open. You'll note that Excel and Word, there's nothing open, but I have pinned those to my taskbar. So if I want to use them, all I have to do is come down here and click. So think about applications that you use on a regular basis. You know, what are those applications? What would you benefit from placing these on your taskbar? And you might be saying, well, that's great, Julie, but I don't know how to get them to my taskbar. And maybe you don't want them on your taskbar. Maybe you're one of those people that just wants everything to be the way that it came out of the box. And that's fine too. But let's talk about some different options that you have. So if you really would prefer to just have the items pinned, you can see that I have 4 items pinned here. I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. But if I want to just pin Microsoft Word, I'm going to go back to all apps and we'll go back to the A. We're going to click on the W. And rather than left click, if you left click, you're going to launch the application. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hover our mouse over the Microsoft Word, and I'm going to do a right click. So when I right click, it brings up all of these options. Right now I have it pinned to the start, so I'm going to unpin it from the start. Okay, so I unpinned it from the start. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'll show you that it's gone, and we'll click here on back. See in my folder that I have for productivity, you can see that Word is no longer pinned to my start. So now I'm going to go back to all apps. Let's say that we want that back. I'm just going to come down here, click on the B, and go to the W, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to tell it that I want to pin to the start. Or let's pin to the start first. There we go. Now you didn't see anything happen, but let's click on the back arrow and find out. There is Microsoft Word. And I can drag and drop this to that folder. So if I have my productivity folder, I have all of those apps in there. If I decide that I don't want one pinned, I can, maybe I don't, I've got the calendar and the calculator. I don't typically use this calendar, so I'm going to right click on it, and I'm just going to tell it that I'm going to unpin it from the start. And now it's gone. So let's find an app that maybe you use on a regular basis. So let's just come down here. Let's go to our O's and see what we've got there. Oh, we have OneNote. So let's go ahead and take a look at OneNote. I'm just going to right click, and I am going to come down here to more. So I can pin to my taskbar from here. So if OneNote is something that you use on a regular basis, look what we have down here. We have OneNote. So if you use MS Teams or Microsoft Paint, any of those, you can move these around very easily. So you can pin them, you can unpin them, you can pin them to the start, and so on. So again, this is something that I only use when I'm ready to set up a PC, or maybe I'm giving a webinar on a particular, maybe it's on Microsoft Teams, and I want that to be pinned to my taskbar. So I'm going to just pin that to my taskbar, and it puts Microsoft Teams down there. To close this window, I'm just going to simply click away from it, and it will close for me. Now, I said that we were going to talk about how do I know if I can update to Windows 11 or not. So let's come down here, and let's go, and I'm just going to type in, and I update to Windows. Let's see what this brings up. 11. So right now I'm just doing a search, and you can see that it's thinking about it. I'm doing a search for all. I'm doing a search on my PC for apps. I'm also searching the web. That doesn't tell us much, so we'll go ahead and just close that window. And let's just come down here, and what were the steps that I said earlier? Let's bring back up my PowerPoint for a second. Settings, update and security. So let's go to settings. There are our settings. Now we can get to settings from doing the search and go into settings, or we can come down to the taskbar and we can right click and we can go to taskbar settings, and the same thing. And once this window loads, we'll go ahead and proceed talking about this. So I am on personalization, and I want to come down here to Windows Update. So my screen is going to look a little bit different than yours probably would, because mine has been updated to Windows 11. And it would say right here that you are eligible or not. You can come over here and download. It looks like I need to restart this, because I've got some Windows updates ready to be loaded, but I need to restart my machine first. So I will take care of that tonight when I get done working. So this is where you're going to go. Again, like I said, before you update to Windows 11, please, and if you're not backing things up, please do. If something happens, you don't want to lose all of your data. So I cannot stress that enough. So make sure that you're backing up to any device that you feel comfortable with. Otherwise, I'm sure that you can take it to different vendors throughout the city of Omaha to assist you with that. I don't know if that's something that they do at the Do Space, but that's someplace that you might want to start if you're interested in updating to Windows 11. And then over here, it's going to give you your install. So if you're sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I want to update to Windows 11. I was pleasantly surprised when I updated to Windows 11. My machine moved faster. Like I said, we have all of those keyboard shortcuts. It's just a wonderful, wonderful tool. And I'm going to show you some more reasons why. While we're right here, I'm going to go back into my taskbar settings. And I'm going to come down to personalization. We're just going to take a look at that for a minute. So I'm going to go to personalization. On personalization, what it allows you to do is that you can select just a background color if you want to. So if the color, if the picture isn't something that you want, you can certainly select just a specific color. So I'm going to go ahead and pick just that violet. And if I minimize my window, whoops, what happened to my violet? Okay, I need to do one more step here. What it is violet, but what I need to do is I need to personalize for a second. Colors, themes. Where's my pictures? Oh, there we go. So personalize your background. So you can choose a different picture if you want to. For right now, what I'm going to do is I want to, my zoom is in the way. Come here, zoom in, please. There we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So I can go just to a solid color. So if I want to go just to a solid color, I can certainly do so. I have that purple selected. If I minimize it now, I've got the plain background. So if you're a person that just wants, a plain color in the background, you can certainly do that. You can play around with it a little bit to see which color you prefer. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to restore this window down a little bit so that we can see what the background's doing without me minimizing every time. So if you want, a different color, maybe you want a red or a blue, something soothing, a nice blue, you can do that. You can also come up here. We had the picture, you have a slideshow, you have Windows Spotlight. Come here, Windows Spotlight. So on Windows Spotlight, you can go in and you can okay, so the Windows Spotlight is something that I typically don't use, but that's just giving you and this picture. You can go up here and you can click on learn more about the picture. That is a forest in Japan. It looks like extremely beautiful. So you have your Windows Spotlight. You also, I showed you the solid color. You have the picture. If you don't have a picture that you want to use, their Windows has some built-in pictures that you can utilize, some beautiful scenery. Here's a couple of words that you can put in if you want. Here's another picture that I've used in the past, or you can browse your pictures and you can browse out and you can look for specific pictures that you would like to put in your background. So here's one that I had. I don't know, I guess that picture's not in there. Let's just go ahead and take this picture for a second and we'll click on choose picture. And there it is. Now you can either have it fill the whole background, or you can have it fit if you want to. Depending on the picture, you're going to get different options. So let me browse back out and we'll grab a different picture. Let's just take this one and we'll go ahead and put that picture in. So this one allows you to fill, to fit, or to stretch. So that one stretched it out. Let's just see what fill is. I don't know. Not a lot of difference between the two. If it is a very small picture, like maybe the Nebraska N, it'll allow you to tile something like that. So you can have multiple N's in your background if you want to. I try to stay away from something that's real busy like that. It's hard enough with just a regular picture. Sometimes I have a hard time finding my icons. But you'll find your own way in what you want to do. Okay, so that is personalizing the background. So we looked at Windows Update, we looked at personalization. There's a few other things in here. Let's see. Your slideshow, if you want to do a slideshow, you can do a slideshow very easily. By doing the slideshow, it looks like I've already got a folder set up just for the slideshow. That you can browse out, you can select a specific folder. So I've got my background picks. I can tell it how often I want the background to change. So it's kind of like a picture frame, and it's going to change that background every minute. It's going to change to a different picture. Shuffle the picture order. Do you want the same picture order or not? You can turn that on or off depending on what you want to do. If you want the picture to stay on there longer than a minute, you can come over here and go for anywhere from 1 minute to an entire day. So it just kind of depends on what you want. Left side run, even if I'm on, let slideshows run even if I'm on battery power. Again, that's to save your battery for you. Choose a fit for your desktop image. I said fill. Oh, here's the tile. Let's just go ahead and tile that and see what it looks like. So that's what it gives you a preview right here. So it will allow me to tile, looks like the Colorado Belle. That's really busy. It's very pretty, I think, but very, very busy. So I'm going to choose not to tile that. I'm going to go ahead and just tell that to fit in there. And you can see that you can spend a lot of time setting this up, but it is well worth your time to go in and make sure that you know what this is you're going to be working on this machine more than likely, you know, if you're me, for hours on end. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with what you have. All right, so let's go ahead and close that window. So you can see what the benefit of having a color background that complements the picture. I'm not sure that complements the picture, but you can go in and you can change that. You can add a picture to that. So the other thing that you can do, let's talk about how we move this the search bar. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to go to taskbar settings. And it will take me in, open up the taskbar settings. Let's talk about these settings for a minute. So your search, here's where you can determine what your search is going to look like. And this is the search right here. I just clicked inside of it. So do you want to hide that? Maybe you don't want to use it at all. You don't have to see it on your screen. You can do the search icon only, which is just the little magnifying glass. So that's what I think it looks like, is the magnifying glass. You could have the search icon and the label, or you can have just the search box. So lots of different decisions to make. You also have Windows 11 has something called Copilot. Copilot is an AI, an artificial intelligence. So you've got ChatGPT. There's all kinds of that. But you have one built into Windows 11. If you have Windows 11 and all of a sudden this Copilot appeared, that's why. If you don't want to utilize it, you can turn it off. It's going to reside right down here in the lower right-hand corner. And if I click on that, there it is. Whoops, come back here. I clicked again, which is why it went away. You can go in and I can ask it a question. What is the POLC model? Terms I have never used this before. Just let it. Okay, so there we have it. The POLC model stands for planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And it tells you about the POLC model. So you can ask it just about anything. To be honest with you, I don't typically use the Copilot. I use another AI that's called GPT. And I've stopped using Google. So just an FYI, that is your Copilot. So if you want to use that, you can keep it on. If you don't, you can turn it off. Your task view, you can decide whether you want to turn that on or off. What the task view allows you to do is it has multiple desktops. So if you maybe have different family members that utilize your PC and you want different desktops for each person, you can certainly create them if you want to. That's nothing new in Windows 11. But I don't use that, so I just keep that turned off. The widgets, I do not use the widgets either. They will be down here in the lower left-hand corner. So if the widgets is something that you use, you can turn those on. But again, the widgets is something that I typically don't use. So I tend to keep it turned off. I think I will turn it back on though, because I like knowing what the temperature is. So that's a benefit to it. The pen, the touch keyboard, and the virtual touchpad. I do not have a touch screen, but those are all options for you. If you have a touch screen on your machine, you can utilize the pen, the touch keyboard, and the virtual touchpad. Then you have other system tray icons. So if I click on the down arrow, you have all of these different options that you can turn on or off. And you can see that I have most of them off. So let's see, other system tray icons, hide or show additional. I wonder why I have Microsoft PowerPoint off. Let me turn that one on. Yeah, I have most of mine off. Taskbar behaviors. Let's look at that one. So I'm going to click on the down arrow. This is where you're going to go for the taskbar alignment. So if you don't like it centered, you can put it over there on the left. Remember when you used to be able to move it to the side, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the top. You can't do that anymore. It's either to the left at the bottom or in the middle of the bottom. I like it in the middle, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that back over there. Automatically hide the taskbar. No, I'm not going to do that because that way you have to hover your mouse over it in order to use it. And I do not like that particular option. If you do though, that's something that you can look into. So those were, let's see, all taskbars. It says well, main taskbar and taskbar where windows are open. Taskbar where windows are open. I just leave it open all the time. So lots of decisions to make, right? Now, let me go ahead and close this. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that you have multiple options now. So let me go ahead and open up multiple options for resizing a window. So let me open up Microsoft Excel. And I'm just going to open a couple of items here. Oh, I put that on a different machine, so it's not on this anymore. So let's go, let's go to Microsoft Word. I've got some stuff in there I can open up and share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Microsoft Word. There's a chance it's going to go to my other window, but just bear with me. We'll go ahead and pull it over here, just making sure to see if there's no questions. So index match, I'm going to bring that up. I need some open windows in order to show you how this works. So I'm going to get my X lookup in grades, and I'm going to get my X lookup. And then I'll just open up a blank Excel document. So I have four different documents open that we're going to be working with. We'll just take a blank document. So in any one of these, and it doesn't matter what application you have open or what window you're working with. What's really cool and new is that you can come over here to the where you used to be able to restore up and down. And remember in Windows 10, Windows 6 came out in Windows 7 where you can snap the windows, well, you can still do that, but look what Windows 11 has to offer you. I can tell it that I want these items to be side by side. So if I want it to be automatically side by side, it says, okay, here's the Excel. What else do you want up here? And you can see everything that I have open. Maybe I want just this this X lookup in here. So I have Excel and I have my handout. It happens automatically for you. Yeah, you can still snap them if that's what you're used to. I can have 3 windows open side by side by side. It says, okay, what other one do you want open? So I'm just going to click on another one. And let's see, what else do I want? Maybe I'll bring up PowerPoint. So I have Word, PowerPoint, and Excel right next to one another. Now, depending on how big your monitor is, that will probably be determine how many applications, how many windows you open, or what you do for, or what you do professionally, or what you're attempting to do from a personal standpoint. I tend to only have 2 open at a time. I don't have any more than that because it's a little confusing. You can see that trying to look at, a Word document, a PowerPoint document, an Excel document, that's a little bit busy. So I tend to only want 2 open at the same time. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe we'll not close, but we'll just minimize Microsoft PowerPoint, and then I can come back over here and I can tell it that I want these to be side by side again. Whoops. My mouse is doing things to me. There we go. No, come here. So there's one, and there's another. Okay. If you want them to be in the 4 quadrants, you can also do that. So here's an example of how they would be in the 4 quadrants. We can put one up, and it's going to say, okay, now what do you want over here? You've got one in the upper right. What do you want in the upper left? So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to tell it that I want my PowerPoint in the upper left. I'm going to tell it that I want the X lookup in the lower left. And I want the index match handout on the lower right. So now I've got really busy things going on because I've got 4 different windows open at the same time. But if that's something that benefits you, that's a really cool feature in Windows 11 that you can take advantage of. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna, I don't think I need these open. Keep in mind, like I said, you can still snap them if you're a snapper, if you, and I tend to forget, to be honest with you, that you can do that. I still tend to snap things just because that's what we did for so long. But when I've got 2 monitors sitting here, utilizing the Windows ability to have Windows 11 do that, that is a big help. So I can just come over here and open it up. All right, so let's talk about our keyboard shortcuts. Look at these, folks. This is amazing. So rather than minimizing, how many times do you sit there and go, minimize, 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 minimize? You don't need to do that. You can hold down the Windows key in the M for minimize, and it will minimize all your windows at once. Now I have 2 monitors, you can't see the other one, but it's going to minimize those applications as well. Keep in mind, if you want to bring them back up, you have to hold down the Windows Shift M. So let's hold down the Windows M, and there we go. If you want to bring everything back up, you're going to hit the Windows Shift and the M, and they'll all come back up. If you, by the way, if you want me to email you these keyboard shortcuts, just send me a quick email at jdospace@gmail.com. Happy to share them with you. So if you want to minimize all windows except the selected or currently active, so I can hit the Windows key and the Home key. So the home key is going to be, I have an extended keyboard, so it's over here on the right-hand side. And it will minimize. Okay, it brought up everything back up when that's just a toggle switch and on-off switch. It was bringing stuff back up over on my other monitor. So the Windows key in the home minimizes all windows except the selected or currently active window. The Windows key and the up arrow maximizes the selected window. So if I have this restored down a little bit, I can hit the Windows key and the up arrow and it will bring it back up for me. If I hit the Windows key and the down arrow, it's gonna restore it back down. So arrow up, arrow down, arrow to the left, arrow to the right. Okay, so I can go down, I can go back up. So that Windows key and the arrows, that's pretty cool. And I was tapping more, you could see that it was doing a little bit more than even I have on here. So play around with the windows, right, left, up, down, great things. The Windows key, the Alt and the up, snap selected window to the top half of your screen. So I'm going to do the Win, Alt, and up. Oops, accidentally hit that. And when that says up, as a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go ahead, let's see. Which one was that? I'm gonna change this. That's the arrow. Okay. So with the Windows key, the Alt and the down will snap the selected window to the bottom half. Okay, so I'm gonna do Windows, Alt. Okay, so there's just some more Windows keys. If you want to add a virtual desktop, and that's what we were doing earlier, you can do a Control D, so you can have multiple desktops if you want to. That's not anything that's new to Windows 11, but the Windows Control D is something that will add a virtual desktop. I've heard jokes about this before, like during March Madness, that if you're at work, that people will have two virtual desktops because they're watching basketball on one, and if somebody comes into their office or somebody's looking around, they just flip back to the other desktop, makes them look like they're hard at work. So I'm not giving you advice to do that. I'm just telling you that's a joke that I've heard. So the Windows key, the control, and the right arrow moves the virtual desktop. Okay, the one that I don't have on here, and I'm going to put this on here because this is by far the best one. And it is the Windows key, Windows plus the V. And what does that do? Hang on, my Zoom bar is in my way. There we go. Brings up your clipboard and more. So the clipboard, you might be saying to yourself, well, what on earth is a clipboard? You probably are using the clipboard. Maybe you didn't know it was called the clipboard. When you copy something in an application, it goes to something called the clipboard. Used to be that the clipboard could only hold one item. Nowadays, the clipboard can hold up to 25 items. If you're in an application such as Microsoft Word, let me just go ahead and bring up Microsoft Word. If you're in an application such as Microsoft Word, you can view your clipboard. So what happens is, when I said you can hold up to 25 items, it will hold up to 25 items. Come here, there we go. So my clipboard is empty and I actually emptied it before we started on purpose. So let me just put something in here. That Zoom window is always in my way, no matter where I put it. Okay, so this is my clipboard. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to select, this is my clipboard, and I'm gonna copy that. So I'm just gonna go do Control C as in cat. And you can see that this is on my clipboard. Now, as I'm working throughout the day, I'm constantly copying and pasting things. I'm just randomly grabbing each one of these letters so I can get some stuff on my clipboard. So you can see there's my clipboard, and I have multiple items on it. When I go to work in different places, sometimes I need what I was on my clipboard last. Before I learned of this keyboard shortcut, I would go back and I would copy this item again. But with the Windows and the V, so it's not Control V to paste, it's the Windows and the V. It's gonna bring up this window. And in this window, you have your clipboard. So I do have more than, what's on here? Okay, this is stuff that wouldn't show in Microsoft Word. I did copy some things. Now I'm gonna go ahead and if I want to delete some things, if you want to delete just one thing, you can go over here and tell it you want it to delete. We'll just play around with these first few that I put on there because I need that other stuff on my clipboard for this afternoon. But I could come down here and wherever my mouse is. And the beauty of this, you don't have to be in Word. You can be anywhere in your system that you want to be. And you can bring up this clipboard. So I can paste in the word the. There we go. And do another Windows V. Brings back up my clipboard. So like I said, you can have 25 items on the clipboard. If you copy something very large, when you quit out of the application, the clipboard might say, wait a second, do you really need to be on the clipboard? Because it's bogging my system down. It's making it run slower. If you don't need it, just click on no. If you do need it, click on yes. Your clipboard's going to clear in one of three ways. Once you copy a 26 item, it's going to replace the first item. You can come in and you can clear all. Okay, that will replace them. You can delete things one at a time, just like I just did. You can, if you log off of your machine, it's going to clear the clipboard memory because the memory is in the RAM, the random access memory. If you restart your computer, it's going to it'll lose all of those things on the clipboard. So I guess there's 4 or 5 ways that you can clear that memory. Now, what else is in here though? Look at all this. So I know some of you are eyeing the GIFs and the smiley faces. If you're a person that likes these, look at this. And I'm certainly not against them. I just don't typically use them very often. But oh boy, it's TGF. I didn't even know that that's what that said. So you can go ahead and do that Windows V. You've got your GIFs. If you want a little smiley face, we'll go ahead and put a smiley face in, or you can search for different emojis that you want. We'll just put in a little smiley face into my document. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is right there. Okay. I don't know about you, but that dog is making me dizzy. There we go. So you've got lots of different options. Again, I'm just gonna hit the Win and the V. You've got smiley face, you've got the GIFs, you've got mostly used. So those are items that I have used. You've got other different options. So you've got classic emoticons, you've got happy ones. I don't use that in particular, to be honest with you, but that's okay. You've got different symbols right here if you want to look at symbols. So just lots of great things that you can bring up by hitting the Windows and the V. And I know that you're at home playing around with those right now. All right. Well, I think that we have covered just about everything that was on the agenda for today. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this up. Make sure that you don't have any questions. Again, if you think of something at a later date, feel free to email me at jdospace@gmail.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. And as always, a big shout out to the Do Space for everything that they do for the greater Omaha community. If you haven't been by 72nd and Dodge yet, I just drove by there yesterday. My goodness, they're coming along on the new building. It looks like it's going to be phenomenal. At first, I thought it was going to be really small, and every time I drive by, it seems to be going up further and further and further. So we're some progress. I think it's going to be about 2.5 more years yet, but that will fly by. And they will move back from the Abraham's Library back to 72nd and Dodge. As I was saying, big shout out to everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and stay positive. Take a look at that Do Space calendar. Find out what your next event's going to be. Thanks, everybody.